Yeah, it looks like there's something to that. All those prophecies talking about these end times and these crazed subhumans controlled by sub spirits in power, spiritual wickedness in high places. Um, how their agendas will get thwarted, they'll fall on their faces, they'll be groping around as blind men in the dark and shit because they crossed too many lines with too many entities and crossed the line with a prophetic entity, hindered his or her agenda, and got themselves God smacked with a curse batch, a batch of curses that attack a whole bunch of different areas all at once, get compounded per second and per molecule, retropade backwards in time, you know, all those seconds, from the moment that the idea was first conceived. Now, y'all know that they're operating agendas that are before the Holocaust, okay? It's like these agendas are, ancient agendas. All right. Now, every false flag that they perpetuate is having the opposite effect. They're trying to create reasons to take people's guns away, right? To get people to agree to it. And with every false flag, there's a greater awakening of people that realize, hey, wow, we need guns. Yeah, to protect us from those who are taking our tax dollars and funding these people to go do this shit. We need to protect ourselves from those that they're paying to do this shit, right? ISIS and all these people. I mean, there'd be enough tax dollars to fix the roads and everything else if they just stopped doing this dumb shit, right? If they just put the money where it's supposed to go instead of taking it and pilfering it and using it for other shit, their personalized agendas. Stop growing heroin. We don't need heroin, we don't need our armies protecting heroin growers. We need this shit burned up. Burn them fields and poppy fields. Just burn that shit. Nuclear attack it or something. Yeah, make an example of anybody who wants to grow heroin or cocaine. Anybody who wants to produce meth. That's what we should do. Yeah, just make their land a wasteland. Nobody lives there now. You ain't growing shit, bitch. So, they perpetuate. False flag does not mean people didn't die. Okay? It just means that they perpetuated it to accomplish a common goal that, they want to accomplish. They lead together, they do this, and, it looks like this group did it, or that party did it, or this person did it, and it's actually a whole group of people from all different directions. So then you get, talks about it, mass distraction, all right? People come out with the truth. The truth starts coming out. Look at this. 16 U.S. This is having an opposite effect right here, what they hope to do. Now 16 U.S. state governors refused orders to take Syrian refugees. As they have an obligation to their constituents, the people that voted them into office, to protect them. This is something that's lost on, little freaky little subhumans in the Queens District of Columbia. Right. To give you a clue how long this treason and terrorism has been in play behind the curtain of Oz. Google and look back in time when the District of Columbia was created and when it was made its own little tiny nation within the United States that's not subject to the laws of the rest of the nation, right? It's like they have diplomatic immunity, so to speak, against our laws. And you'll see how far back this shit goes, all right? That it goes back hundreds of years. You see, now, look at this, 16, more coming out. This is the spirit of exposure. They gave this entity that they crossed lines with. That's what happens when you indiscriminately just trample shit. You mess around, you step on a golden grape. It wasn't just a grape for you to trample. And, you know, then you mess around and give the wrong entity authority over you, and they get pissed off and they just hit you, right? So then they hit you with a spirit of exposure so that everything you do, it's right there. Breaking. Putin, G20, ISIS financed from 40 countries, including G20 members. Woo-hoo. Now imagine when this stuff gets turned around on them. I mean, you know, if it doesn't here while they're here as premonitions of their potential existence, it will when they die and they're time looped as their victims. You know, all the victims of ISIS and, you know, other, you know, gangsters, other groups and parties, you know, herds that they enabled, empowered, or were omissive about stopping them, right? So we have the opposite effect stuff's coming out. Okay? Paris, the ritualistic false flag exposed. You know, you have people who are like, some of these comments are very informative and interesting. Some of them are, you know, trolling. Some of them are shit. But some of the stuff that some of these people share in the comments makes for good research, right? For you to things to research. So you have the ritualistic. After Paris, CIA criticizes NSA surveillance program reform. Well, they didn't do nothing to stop the Boston shit, right? And if the NSA is listening to so much shit, then they have access to, you know, stop how many horrific crimes from happening that they don't stop. So that's wasted money. They're just spying, entertaining themselves, sitting around eating their donuts, listening to people scream in pain, listening to animals be tortured, listening to little kids get fucked. You know, they're really a bunch of sick bastards. You know, I couldn't be part of the NSA. I didn't have the police in all areas busy. I just had the police busy, okay? They're dealing heroin over there. They're dealing cocaine over there. Dealing meth over there. And you know, they're torturing children. They're trafficking over here. They're torturing animals. They're making dogs fight to their death. I mean, the world would get cleaned up if I had the power that the NSA has, okay? Police would be busy fighting crime instead of busting people for nuisance offenses like smoking marijuana. You know, I mean, come on, we got real shit to worry about. This fuck anything to do with marijuana. It's like a false flag. But it's like everybody's got something to say about this, right? And this is how it's backfiring. Just because then see also the planet got hit with binding up of the spirit of the dumb down has happened. They're being bound up, the spirits that would dumb people down, and torch, those spirits are. And new spirits have been loosed into this mechanism to make people wise up and kill off all those who will not wisen up. Let's move this over here. It's distracting me for some reason. Okay, so people are wisening up. That's another spirit that got loosed on them. It has authority over them as long as they're in violation of whatever parameter it is that gave the entity that loosed these spirits upon them the authority. You see, it's like sometimes it's just through intent. They intend to do something. We learned that from Abraham and Isaac in the covenant that was created through that intent of Abraham regarding Isaac, which created everything possible for the clone of God, you know, his son Christ, son of man. See, all right, so right here what we have happening is one man with a gun can make a difference. This video is not what you think it'd be, where, you know, you think, oh, you're going to come here and there's somebody in this video is going to be inciting somebody to violence. No, he's telling a story about how This terrorist group was geared up to kill off 1,000 people at a function. They came in there, and there was one guy with 5 bullets in a pistol. The other guys, the terrorists, had weaponry. They were geared up. They could kill 1,000 people. There was 1,000 people there. They were ready to kill them. They had AKs, other machine guns. They had bombs and grenades. They were ready to kill, right? They bust in there and they start shooting. The one guy, he's telling a story about how the guy was way up in the balcony, and he fired off, said, oh, well, there's no way I'll hit anybody from here, but just take a shot. And he took a shot, and he didn't realize that he hit one of them. Well, then he ran down and around, got down to come to a closer vantage point to try taking another shot. He didn't realize he'd already killed the other person. He shoots and hits another one of them, right? Well, at that point, that's when they all fled. All these terrorists fled. They only managed to kill a small percentage of the people that they came there to kill. And later, when the story came out why they fled, from one of the dudes who fled, he said, well, we thought we were being encircled because of the way, one got shot and then one got shot all the way around the other side, you see. So this guy only having 5 bullets in one gun and realizing that he needed to try and get closer created the perception to the terrorists that they were surrounded, and they, they fled. One person with a gun, one man with a gun. Okay, you see, so one man with a gun can make a difference, and this happened in a like a gun-free country. Anytime something happens, violence in a gun-free area, like all the violence that happened in Chicago after they made it gun-free, it negates their argument. It nullifies their argument that, people should give up their guns. No, what it actually does is it adds to the argument of the NRA and all the people who want to protect themselves from those that the government, / treasonous terrorists / terrorists, / treason, committers. It's like that they enable and empower, the people want to protect themselves from. They have a right. You have a right to protect yourself from a bug who wants to hurt you. Okay? You have a right. The government doesn't want you to feel that way, though. So, they want to be able to loose ISIS on you and you not be able to protect yourself or your daughter, your mother, your wife, your family. You see? It's like, so we got all this coming out. Just the origins of it. Was it a false flag? Then it also brings out that, hey, while they're busy spending money causing this shit, they're allowing slave trading to be worse than it ever was. And this says something about demographics that, they hate slavery, right? And the more and more of them that get empowered and come into wealth and power, the worse slavery gets. It adds credence to the argument that all started due to, a group of people asking some people to kill off a group of people that were enslaving them and killing them, right? And instead they took them and sold them as slaves. And then when they tried to send them back there to that land, they went right back to enslaving and pillaging and raping. So it's like, it does give credence to that argument, that hidden history, the true history of how shit started that everybody has such a problem with. They're being dumbed down with, they've been dumbed down with. And, it was used as a thing to make them feel victimized and, I'm so victimized and hurt, you see. And it's like, look at this, it's like the more people that become empowered, they had a problem with this in the past, the less this should be happening. But they ignore it because it ain't happening to them, or they perpetuate it. You see? They're secret perpetuators of it, right? So it's like, it's all this stuff's coming out, that, the awakening. Everybody's being awakened now. And that's the worst thing that can happen to these sub-spirits and the subhumans that they control.